Captain's log. Disappearance. Day 7. We've just about finished our rather unusual retrofit at Deep Space Nine and taken on some much-needed volunteer crew. I never liked the saying, nature abhors a vacuum, but it's true. The galaxy without humanity has been spiraling. More than usual, that is. We're extremely anxious to get underway before our few good leads go cold. But first, I have a dear friend to visit. Numera una. ¿Empezaste sin mí?
Little good it's done for me.
It's good to see you in a body again, at the very least.
You too, Shira. Thank you for all you're trying to do.
Ugh, just trying to put out fires. Most recently, the Halkan want out of the Federation. I just wish there was more I could do for you.
Please, don't do that. I can't take another person pitying me or wishing they could do more.
Oh, of course. I'm sorry, Be'elanna. I know I'm not the most comforting.
No, I'm sorry, Shira. I'm not handling this well.
Who would be? I can't imagine with all that's happened.
You know what the worst part is? It's not being trapped in a holosuit for the foreseeable future. It's not that I can't feel my hands, or that I can't smell or taste this stupid wine, that my thoughts actually take time to load like a glitchy computer. Not even that I can't see Tom or my daughter. The worst part is that wherever she is, because I refuse to accept she's gone, I'm not with her. My physical body might be, maybe, but there's no one home. If I didn't incinerate in that plasma relay first, that is, either way, I'm not there for her.
What you did, your Protocol 121D, uploading your consciousness into the mainframe, it was incredibly courageous. Not only that, it was the right choice under any circumstances. It was the only way you had in that moment to assure you would still be there for her.
I've been over that moment 1,000 times, and everything leading up to it. The arrogance of thinking I could fully dedicate myself to Starfleet and raising morale at once. Intellectually, I know it made sense to run the protocol, to survive, that the odds of it coinciding with something like the blink are astronomical. Just like intellectually, I know I'm holding this glass, drinking this wine. But it doesn't make it feel any better. Computer and program.
I don't know if this is what you need to hear. If not, sorry again. But you're the best first officer I know. And I'll need the best with me if we're ever getting to the bottom of this. And though it's not much, I have something for you. A gift from an old friend of yours.
But that's a Doc's mobile holo emitter.
The only one this side of the 27th century. He wants you to have it, at least until we figure out how to put you back in a body.
That's too. I couldn't possibly.
He knew you'd say that, and said to tell you that the Trill Medical Campus is fully holo integrated, and his Delta Quadrant Comparative Endocrinology lecture series isn't going to teach itself, whatever that means. Oh, and that his new autobiography is just a thing to help you adjust to your new state of being.
I literally cannot think of a single less helpful thing.
Raised to Captain Tath. We're not quite ready to roll, but we're receiving an urgent distress signal from the Be'elanna Torres sector. One I think you'll want to see.
What's in the Be'elanna Torres sector?
For starters, a Kirk world.
Are you serious? I thought we hadn't discovered one in over a century.
Starfleet intelligence isn't too keen on publicizing them for reasons that will become clear soon.
Wait, Be'elanna Torres. Didn't that used to be a Cardassian territory?
Yes, indeed, and important enough to keep a secret observation team posted there in violation of the DMZ treaty. And all known Kirkworld inhabitants also vanished along with humanity.
So, as I was saying, hey, where are you going? She's trapped in a hologram, they said. You'll be doing a community service hosting her, they said. Now I find out. Hey, you owe me for those holosuite hours.
Seriously, man, guess you'll have to take it up with Starfleet Command.
We can't all put our lives on hold every time humanity has a crisis, you know. There are rules, you know. Some of us are law-abiding. Now, where'd all these bottles of Andorian ale come from?
For those of us who haven't been following the never-ending absurdist melodrama that is humankind for the last century, what, pray tell, is a Kirk world?
That really is a question, and it's not easy to answer. They were named after one of Starfleet's most prolific scoundrels more than a century ago, owing to his uncanny knack for coming across them in short, Earth-like worlds. Gratuitously, obscenely, impossibly Earth-like, in some cases similarities not even close to accountable simply through common ancestry or convergent evolution.
Theoretically wild, I grant you that, but why the secrecy around it? What made Starfleet start hushing them up?
To answer that, fast forward 100 years to 2365.
The year Q introduced the Federation to the Borg.
Precisely. The nigh omnipotent imp entity called Q was testing our mettle as usual. It was a throwaway comment about humanity he made that put the nail in it.
Oh, the arrogance. They don't have a clue as to what's out here.
But they will learn. Adapt. That is their greatest advantage.
They're moving faster than expected, further than they should.
By whose calculations?
Apologies, Captain, but I fail to see a connection between this Kirk world and this cryptic exchange.
You're not alone there, Scout. The connection is tenuous at best. Humanity is progressing faster than expected. That implies there is a force behind the scenes doing the expecting. Some force greater even than Q, observing or even running the human experiment. And when running an experiment, what's the best approach?
Ah, the scientific method. Replicate the experimental conditions as exactly as possible and alter a single variable to test its impact. So, Earth and all the Kirk worlds are each control groups in some vast galactic study?
That's a pretty big leap to make, especially to inform policy at such a high level. Also, I've met Q. Why should we give anything that ass says any credit at all?
I agree that the human experiment theory isn't the only or even the best explanation for these Kirk worlds, but I do understand the danger if it is true. Consider this. You have the power and the resources to dictate the exact cultural and evolutionary course of multiple worlds. Specimens from one petri dish learn how to crawl out and start contaminating the other dishes. What do you do with your experiment?
Of course. You simply dump the contaminated specimens, clean your petri dishes, and start again. Well, when you put it like that...
Are you implying an explanation for the blink? A cleansing of humanity and its counterparts for purely clinical ends?
I would very much like to rule out the possibility.
This Kirk world we're visiting, what variable was altered? What, in other words, sets it apart from humanity's Earth?
Unfortunately, due to the high level of security concern, that information was kept on a need-to-know basis. And guess who needed to know? A very small group happening to consist only of high-ranking humans? However did you guess? Which means the only way to know is to beam down and find out.